Brother Teacher here. How do you stay in your best health during this coronavirus pandemic? It's really simple. We've talked about this in time past on numerous occasions about health and wellness for the most part. And all it simply is just following some basic concepts and principles. Some everyday habits that we should have all had instilled in us since childhood. And that is eating properly, eating a balanced meal, balanced to mean full of all of the nutritional value that the human body needs, coupled with some form of exercise on a regular basis throughout the week, getting plenty of sleep and rest, staying positive mentally, because if you're not positive mentally, you can become more susceptible to any disease or ailment because your immune system goes down when you're emotionally strained and or depressed. Did you not know that? So how you think is how your body's going to respond, is what I'm getting at. So what are some of the things that you can do to stay in your best health? I'm talking to those individuals that have a reasonable portion of good health right now, who perhaps at one time had some sort of a regimen where they get out and jog and walk and ride a bike and go to the gym or even train at home. Get back to what you were doing. I'm encouraging you to get back to training on a regular to semi-regular basis during this time while we are still in the early stages of this coronavirus issue. Now, mind you, it's escalating every day. So there's no time, of course, like the present. Start right now. The most important thing that you need to do is to make sure that you have the proper nutrition. You need minerals, vitamins, and all of these other different nutrients in your body uh, to fortify yourself. Now, vitamin C is key. Did you not know that vitamin C is a great antioxidant along with your berries, your blueberries, your red berries, your strawberries, all of your berries? Eat plenty of fresh organic fruit, eat vegetables. Start now. Yes, start right now. Start back eating properly, getting away from the junk food if you can possibly help it. Uh, Now, with that said about the junk food, this is something I've talked about in time past too. Um, I know to some people this might sound a bit far fetched, even in light of the situation that we're all faced with today with this pandemic. And that is, you won't be able to do the restaurants the way that you did them once before. And I said this before about canned goods, how in emergencies you may have to go to canned goods because you don't have other fresh foods available to you. And typically, I've always done it this way in terms of having good fresh food. We start with the garden organically. That's the best for you. Fresh out of the garden. Secondly, it would be frozen. And then the last on the list would be canned goods because canned goods are vacuumed, closed, pressure sealed, contains a whole lot of sodium, sometimes other ingredients as well, to include BPA in the lining of the cans and so forth. But herein lies the rub. I've also said this too. In emergencies, you have no other alternative but to use the canned goods, even though they were on the end of the list, because you are looking for sustenance. You're looking for something to carry you. You're looking for calories. You're looking for food for you and your family during an emergency. And this is such an emergency. I'm telling you now, from me to you, from this desk and table to you that are watching me right now, this is not going to get better. I'm not playing the devil's advocate. I'm not being a pessimist. Most people know that I'm an optimist 99.9% of the time. It's going to get worse, particularly if you haven't been touched by it yet, but particularly for the working class people who are in service industries, and many people are feeling it right now. Even I am feeling it. And I am an independent business owner, and my customer base has fallen down, or I should say, my traffic has fallen down for various reasons. You have people that came who were in school. Schools have been closed, so I lost a percentage of my clientele there. A lot of the school systems travel through the neighborhood where my business is. That's one. Secondly, there are a lot of people who don't want to get out the house or come out the house just to commute and go from place to place to shop as they did before. So it's fewer people on the streets in my area. So that's a big um, slash as well. And on top of that, some of the people in the area who would usually frequent other neighborhood businesses adjacent to me, such as the restaurants in the area, you're not allowed to eat in the restaurants anymore. So the people are primarily going through the drive-through and going about their merry way. They're not coming across the street to where I am and so forth. But anyway, long story short, we're all being affected by this coronavirus issue. And if you have not already experienced it firsthand, you are going to experience it. Only the very rich, very wealthy, well-to-do are not going to feel touched at all by it, for the most part. So you have my uh, compassion, you have my prayers, even though I'm part of that as well. But I'm extending to you, and I feel it. But I'm extending to you my concern that you're going to be okay. First of all, I want you to be encouraged. Don't be discouraged as much as you possibly can. Stay positive. Please do those things. If you're at home with a family, try to do family activities together within your home. If your children are out of school and you have children, uh, give them something to stimulate their mind other than just simply a video game most of the day while they're at home. Give them something educational to do. Talk to your family. This is a great opportunity to start having conversations with the family about life, period. It is. So, getting back to the health, if you have canned goods, uh, I would advise you to segregate them on your shelf or your pantry, where whatever you have available to you in your home. Your corn, your tomatoes, your green beans, your peas and potatoes, whatever you have in the cans, segregate them and start making up meals for the week. Get your piece of paper and pen and say, well, we're going to have this on this particular day, and the next day we're going to have this. Make soup. If you have dry goods, some peas, some beans, some lentils, some rice, make enough for the family that's going to last 2 or 3 days. And you don't have to have 5 or 6 meals in a day. This is the trying time for us, not only in America but in the world, for us to start using survival skills and to start thinking outside of the norm, or what we have considered in time past as being the norm. See, in time past, people just leave the house and they drive to McDonald's, Wendy's, Frisch's, Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, wherever, your favorite restaurant. You can't do that right now, sweetheart. And guys, you can't do it. Okay? And if you are able to do it on some level, it's going to diminish even more as the weeks go by. I believe that we're going to have a police state. We're going to have a curfew in most cities. There have already been some small curfews installed in some states. Yes, it has. Okay, so be safe, be aware, be prepared. While we are still in the earlier stage of this, even though it's moving straight ahead, you need to get out right now and start getting you some dry goods and some canned goods for the long haul, because it's going to be a long haul. And let me tell you this, what's a long haul? A month is a long haul for many people, because you're shut in your home for the most part. 2 months, 3 months, you'll go almost insane being locked inside of your home, especially when they mandate that you stay in your homes and only leave when you have to go to work, if you have a job to go to. Now, I heard that they're going to institute this system and or program where they're going to give every adult $1,000. This is something that's supposed to be going through the Senate, I believe. I just heard this a few days ago. They said within 2 weeks it may happen. 2 weeks is a long time when you're struggling right now. So please be careful. Please make sure that you sit down and figure out a plan and have a backup plan and have a backup plan to that plan. But what you don't want to do is argue within your home with one another, family members, and so forth. This is the time that we need to be unified. Okay? So, back on the nutrition and how to stay safe. If you're taking medication, I hope that you have your prescriptions already done and you have enough that's going to carry you for a while. I hope that you have an emergency number that you can call your local pharmacy or your doctor and make sure that you have what you need in terms of medication for whatever your illnesses may be. That's one thing. And the other thing, back on the nutrition, you need to have plenty of vitamin C in your home. Hopefully you can have organic and not the synthetic vitamin C because that's only ascorbic acid. You need vitamin C to help strengthen your immune system. You need fresh grapefruits, lemons, limes, oranges. Now, hopefully we will be able to get these over the next several weeks, but because of the pandemic, people are going to be snatching up everything they can possibly put their hands on. And toilet paper, as far as toiletries and alcohol and all this other stuff as well. So what you can do, if you have the financial means to do so, even ask your family, do they have some extra, or some friends, if they have some extra fruit and vegetables and so forth. You can refrigerate. What refrigeration does is retards the product from spoiling too fast. If you sit it out at room temperature or when it's too hot in the house, it's going to spoil or rot really quick. So don't leave your fruit sitting out. Put it in your refrigerator. Push come to shove, put it in the freezer. Take a few pieces out every day, every other day. Set it out, let it thaw out a little bit, and then cut it open. If it's an apple, a pear, what have you, and eat it. These are the measures that we have to take, ladies and gentlemen. It's really just that simple. It's not complicated. So we have to change our paradigm. How we used to think has to go by the wayside. How we should think is survival right now in 2020, in March of 2020. This is how we have to think right now as I'm speaking to you. So you guys be safe, love one another. Don't let the circumstances, the current circumstances, separate you. We need to all be together in this as one family, one human family. Okay, I love you. Yahweh love you. Take care. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you have my email, brotherteacher1@hotmail.com. Please email me if that's your means of communication primarily. And if you want to call me, I'm not going to say my number right here because I have a lot of people out there that want to spam me and say negative things. It's not a lot, but it's enough. So just email me, and if it's someone that I recognize, or if I know that your spirit is the proper spirit, then I'll communicate and respond to you. But there are a couple people out there that are only haters. They're not well wishers at all, and some people just live to be disgruntled. They are never happy. They're never satisfied. They always want to see someone like myself who's trying to help the people, by and large, fail. They want to see you fail. That's it, and that's all. On that note, again, I love you and so long. Be blessed.